Welcome to Askew. I'm Phil Taggart. This edition of Askew features poet Scott Struman. Scott is a unique voice. His work is a bold, unadorned truth tempered with both insight and levity. See for yourself. And now, Scott Struman.
Kate Chopin's The Awakening. That's what inspired me to write this poem, and it's called McDonald's on the Beach. My neighbor enters the beachfront McDonald's to drink free refills of ice-cold, refreshing Diet Coke, but leaves his cat in the car with the windows closed. I enter the picture, tell the man it's not safe to trap animals in cars on sizzling summer afternoons, so hot the parking lot pavement is melting. Smells like lava coating the earth. Man glares at me, reaches his boiling point. I assume he retrieves his still breathing cat on his march to the shore. I scream at him, the cat needs water. Huffing and puffing like a make-believe dragon, the man carries the cat, across the sand and into the surf to deeper and deeper water. Man and cat disappear. Lifeguard can't find their bodies, and neither can I. We return to the lifeguard tower and share a six-pack of beer, Corona, says the lifeguard through a smile. Things don't get much better than this. Remember from the 70s, the Planet of the Apes series. There were like 5 movies all in order, and if you can rent them at your local video store, and it only takes about 10 hours to get them all in. And this is called Sometimes It's Good to Miss a Train. Hey, wait! Running, I shout at the conductor who speeds his train away. Gives me a perfect excuse for skipping work. My ligaments are torn, destroyed by my passionate pursuit of the local train that every day takes me to a job I love. I tell my boss, I need to rest, my legs at home, maybe for a week. My imaginary doctor says drink some wine when the clock hits noon. Watch all 5 parts of the Planet of the Apes series on DVD to ensure a speedy recovery. And those movies will get your mind off of anything. I think part of it's true. I couldn't have made this up. It's called Swimming with the Sharks. Dumping his ashes onto my front lawn, Klaus, the German realtor, smokes his cigarettes with as much smoothness as he talks to the looky-loos, then tells a potential buyer about his baby sharks. He feeds them bloodworms stored in unmarked styrofoam containers in his refrigerator. For no apparent reason, Klaus shouts, "Don't Jew me down," to an interested customer. I stare at Klaus, who proclaims he is now Wotan in a Wagner opera, then screams at an imaginary army of Jews. Don't laugh at me. It's called Call Mine Smashed. Anyone who lives on the coast can go do this on their own. East or west coast. 3 a.m. God inspects all guests in his independently owned and operated tide pool motel, all sleeping comfortably. Sea urchins, starfish, abalone, mermaids, little fish, friendly brown crabs. Supreme Being hops aboard his white horse, a quick return ride to heaven. What about me, I ask God, then hug my $80 waterlogged doll, star of South Park, my best friend Eric Cartman. I try to smoke a wet cigarette. God's horse steps in my room, shatters my ashtray. I felt a little abandoned that night. Well, I was born June 12, 1963, same birthday as George Bush Sr. and Frank. I think people have told me Marilyn Monroe was born that day too, but she faces no competition from me. I don't remember the first 7 years of my life, except we went on some trip to some caves in Utah, and my sister, who's 1 year younger than me, and we were standing next to each other, and the tour guide said, "Oh, you two girls can move up to the front," and I wasn't a girl, but I was insulted. So then that's all that really stands out from my childhood. A lot of lizards, a lot of dogs, turtles, cats, iguanas, frogs, snakes. Elementary school, I always had to take home like an extra list of 10 cards because I couldn't figure out how to spell the words. But I got in the gifted program, which upset me because then I couldn't hang out with cool people because the cool people were busy beating other people up or playing softball or football, and I had to hang around with the smart people who weren't as considered cool in sixth grade. I went to junior high, also in Northridge, California. I did what the teachers told me to do. I just do what I'm told. So they tell me write an essay about this or write a paper about that or here's a test about this. And if they say read this book, I read it and I'd get A's and B's because I just did what they told me. I don't know if there was any learning involved, but I did what they told me and I got A's and B's. And the same kind of happened in high school. I did what they told me and I got A's and B's. This is called Custer Died for Your Pizza. A golden-haired, frontier-loving free spirit, George Armstrong Custer may have been, but one more late job, he would lose his job as chief delivery boy for Domino's Pizza, Dakota Territory. No promised protection from Sheridan's troops. They were lost in eating individual-sized pizzas covered with mushrooms and green peppers, drunk on Budweiser under the hot prairie sun. Reno's cell phone dropped into a river. He could not phone Custer to warn him of the approaching Comanche and Sioux warriors, shooting rifles, bows and arrows, hurling hatchets to finish off Custer's guards. Armed with pistols low on bullets, shooting in desperation, but taking timely bites of anchovy-covered pizza slices to fight their hunger. Who shot the fatal arrow? From a dying Custer's hand slipped a half slice of pepperoni pizza, still warm. I find myself locked inside Hamid Bar Record Store, Fairfax Avenue, with which I'm supposed to have an ethnic connection. I pound and pound and pound on the door, but the knob won't turn. I feel like a baby crying, begging my mother to let me out of a burning house. It's raining outside. I want to get out. See the pretty koi fish swimming in a man-made pond. But they all stand up on their fins and walk around, see me sweating and nervous. Calm down, it's no big deal, says the nice orange fish, when a cute girl with short hair, probably my age, just a customer, asks me if I'm okay. I'm late for my psychiatrist, I need him, I reply. Stay here and listen to Israeli music with me, the girl says, through a smile. Butterflies fly happily through my stomach, but I finally open the door, escape, and run away. I collect junk, mostly for Christmas, Hanukkah, birthdays, Father's Day, Mother's Day. I do it year-round, so I don't have to do the crowd thing every December. And I enjoy buying gifts for my nephews and nieces. This is called Crazy Uncle, and I think every family in America has at least one crazy uncle up in the attic, and I'm probably the one in my family who's up in the attic. Crazy Uncle. Happy birthday to my nephew Matty, 6 years old. Without a job, despite my 200 theoretical careers, only gift I can afford is black and purple polyester lizards from a general store in Randsburg, a defunct Mojave Desert mining town. Two-fisted drinker I am, coffee and non-alcoholic beer, not strong enough to prevent tears from streaming down my face, soaking the polyester six, pet lizards I keep in a shoebox home. The two baby lizards I give to birthday boy, Maddie, please love them as I do. Years from now, will 6-year-old Maddie recall his precocious question to me? Uncle Scott, are you a real person? I don't know if she or I will ever understand why the poem ends like it does, but you can. Afternoon at Falling Glen Apartments. Vodka and orange juice spark the happier side of my brain. Lyrics of fun-loving rock and roll singer Sheryl Crow wander through my head. I want to soak up the sun, but the umbrella at my favorite table overlooking the swimming pool won't shut up. Sun goes away as the umbrella fixes itself. Too late for a tan. Patricia, my girlfriend of 5 weeks, writes a letter to a friend in jail, Grand Theft Auto, then begs me to write a poem about love. She never understands. I only write about bad things. This is called Interpreting the Seventh Commandment, but it's no desert, it's no wandering around Mesopotamia or Egypt, Jerusalem or anything else. It's set in a very modern 21st century place. Similar scenarios at local McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr., fast food managers, demands hurt me. Please, sir, we're running out of coffee. Could you leave now? But refills are free, I defend myself to heartless bosses, sniffling, sweat. Desperation drives me to Ralph's Market. I drink a 4-pack of Starbucks bottled frappuccinos. Sir, did you pay for those drinks? Asks a wandering cashier. I respond, don't mess with me, market man. Caffeine-fueled, pounding head and heart, I grab a supersized jar of Pepto-Bismol, a must for every serious coffee drinker. Harder than a fraternity boy, I pound all 32 ounces down in one big gulp. No one can save me now. And it's important to fight for what you believe in and to do what you believe in, at least until you go to jail. The high point of my high school years was I got a 5 on the AP history test. So that, I guess, made me decide to major in history in college. I was one of only 2 people in my graduating class to get a 5 on the AP history test. One is now a lawyer in the San Fernando Valley. And I'm an aspiring poet, accomplished caffeine addict, and I can be a dishwasher at times. College was a lot of fun, and a lot of parties, a lot of people who were like me at the time, probably not forever. And we just pretty much were in it for the laughs. I was there because it was the farthest away I could be from my parents, where they would pay for my college education, a public school, UC Berkeley. It was pretty cheap. As a child, my best friends were lizards. Now we're not as close, but every time I see one, I wave at them. Male, female, young, old, whatever. And this is called Joe's Riding the Rails. My H.O. Tycho train set flies over mountains, speeds through cities. The only passengers, my lizard friends, all named Joe, because they all look the same, riding on top of freight cars or nestled comfortably in open-bed log cars. Blue bellies with that reptilian, all-knowing smile. I think they like train rides. Too much coffee with Prozac hikes me into the engine driver's seats, traveling with my lizards on a speedy train, flying farther and faster than any Santa Claus with reindeers or supersonic jet. Home at last with my blue-bellied friends. Aspiring passengers at the train station stare at me as I roar by them. I try to concentrate on my job, but people painfully remind me, no matter how much coffee I funnel into my mouth, I can never erase the mind-boggling notion that my life is really happening to me. It's not just a bad narrative. A poet I know emerges out of inky night, asks me, Scott, are you okay? Scott, are you there? And I think, therefore, I am, so I guess I'm here. This is about some college days. Before I just wrote what the teachers told me to back then. It's called I Should Have Brought a Love Poem. Evening draws near. The crisp tingle of winter air on Heidi's porch makes me feel the sting of my elbow joints, cracking. Then I crack my knuckles. Then I snap my neck to prepare for a date in the hot tub, together with my cute blonde friend. I bite my fingernails until they bleed. She opens the door startled, asks me, why are your eyes so red? She'll never believe my excuse. I'm allergic to all grain products, wheat bread, and beer especially. Please, Heidi, I beg her, don't get me drunk. This has a double title. I like both of them equally, so I'm going to keep both of them. It's called First Night in the Mental Hospital and My Name is Adam. They're necessary to go together. Eve was my high school English teacher. She taught me about a place called Eden, but now she is gone. My garden is bitter without her. Nothing grows anymore. Life is merely the tattoo spelled on my shoulder, CONFUSION, a feeling which never leaves my paranoid world. Fears become knowledge about people whispering ways to assassinate my character. They want to destroy me and ruin my love-hate affair with the psychiatric nurse. Who can tell me how I truly feel? Love and hate rush by in rivers around me while I sink into a pond of misery. Somebody bring me a sofa with a soft pillow. Confusion is bringing me down. I also liked frogs as a child, so this poem's called Yesterday's Frogs. To me, green means frogs and toads, my best friends as childhood pets, until my artist mom, for a photo sequence, feeds to a snake an amphibious lunch that can't hop away fast enough. A child I was, beaming with bright colors like a rainbow, landing in a suddenly hellish bedroom. A bone-dry wind blows out a candle in my empty room. A smiling snake slithers away. Sometimes art hurts. The day I graduated in December 1986, I walked around Sproul Hall with my hands on my head going, what just happened for 4.5 years? And someone said, oh, you grew as a person. And then I saw someone else, and they said, oh, congratulations, you graduated. I said, yeah, but I don't have a job. I don't know what to do now. So it was, I didn't know what to do. I also spent a year in Israel before college. A lot of fun. Best year of my life. A lot of 18 and 19-year-old Jewish kids who were having a big party before they went to college or didn't go to college, and a lot of good times. Things were a little more civil in the region back then for whatever reasons. Then college, like I say. Then after college, I started this descent into like working at law firms as a filer, or working at import-export toy companies as a filer. And my sister would always say, don't worry, it's just a temporary job. You know, even though I would get all these filing jobs, and I'd say, oh, I'm going to get a teaching credential, or I'm going to go to radio broadcasting school, graduate school. I went through every career in the book, and I remained. I grew from the file job to the deli world, where I made sandwiches every day and put bagels in people's bags. Never made it to cashier because it was too much stimuli at once, sort of like the 405. Then in June of 1991, my sister got married, and she had it looked like 2 million people there, all her close friends, people I had, since she's only a year younger, people I had known in kindergarten. And once again, I asked, wait, where did she go right and I go wrong? And it was the first Saturday I had off free from Bagel Nosh in Santa Monica for like 3 years. So I couldn't even comprehend freedom during a Saturday. And it kind of blew my mind that she had gone one way and I had gone the other, because they always called me the smart one and her the one who didn't read. But somehow she was an occupational therapist. She was getting married, would eventually have 3 kids. And within a month, I had what I called my third nervous breakdown. And I lasted 3 months. In September 91, I finally hung up the sandwich making for good and moved north to Camarillo with my father, south to Northridge with my mother. Started taking pills, got a diagnosis of obsessive compulsive disorder, which is probably true. And went to UCLA, paid a lot of money for pretty much absolutely nothing, except to listen to tapes with the wind blowing, and a seashell could have done the same thing to calm us down. Moved back to Camarillo for good, worked here and there a little, but it always ended and I'd get back on state disability. Finally made a good career move, and I got back into the food world, but not as a sandwich maker, because I was so irritable. I'd scream at the customers. So I went to the back, which was a step up, because I became the dishwasher, and dishes don't talk back when you scream at them. So I dishwashed away happily. It was a challenge, you got to be fast. I could never make it as a New York dishwasher, but Southern California, I can be a dishwasher as good as anyone in a not very fancy restaurant. I am driving south in rush hour traffic in my Mazda pickup truck on the Ventura Freeway. A driver ahead and to the right of me in an 18-wheeler truck flashes his left turn light. I slow down. I let the man move in front of me. He waves his hand at me, saying thank you with his fingers. It's the first human contact I've had for the whole day. which puts a smile across my face because I can't believe someone waved at me, so I miss my freeway off-ramp at Rancho Boulevard. The truck driver speeds away. He doesn't wave goodbye. He leaves me alone, surrounded by hostile or indifferent drivers. A man in a BMW flips me off for no apparent reason. And I felt really used by the truck driver, like he used me and he liked me while it was happening, but then he just sped out of my life. Why don't girls like me? At a picnic for Jewish singles, I see an attractive girl, approximately my age, with acne scars on her face. Her eyes meet my glance. I throw my large cup of iced mocha at her head. Her smile disappears and she asks me why I drenched her. I try to explain to the girl what I did doesn't mean anything. At parties, all my friends shake their beer cans, then spray the alcohol all over me. Mocha dripping down her face, the girl leaves me. From far away I see her, talking to others. I hope this poem isn't true. Don't rush into your dictionaries. I'll tell you what the word in the title means. Troglodyte is a cave dweller like the 60s band, the Trogs. I think they were from England. And the poem is called Life as a Troglodyte. A story haunts me. A journalist from my old neighborhood forgets to duck as he leaves a helicopter. Whirling blades tear off his head. I think of this story when I am lying in my bed, recently diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, cowering, curling into a ball in the corner where the bed meets the wall. Haunting me more is a photo in today's LA Times. 4 Titanic-sized, middle-aged schizophrenic women who never leave their beds in an LA County mental hospital. Under my blankets, terrified my bed, gaining weight. Helicopter blades will never chop off my head, splatter my brains across the room, but one day, an LA Times photographer might shoot me. Don't go to alcohol, but if you ever go, this is one of the roads you can take to get there. It's called the road to alcohol. My mom's family is slaughtered at Auschwitz every Friday night. Shabbat dinner. The main course was a gas chamber. She spoon-fed me the horrors of Jewish life and death in Europe until adulthood gave me a chance to hit the road, go from town to town in front of City Hall or a crowded park full of kids. A traveling minstrel singing nothing but the misery of Jewish existence until nobody listened except the bartenders, who would do anything for a good tip. That's why bars exist. Obviously, by now, you know where my favorite place on this planet is. It's McDonald's. It's called From McDonald's to Eternity. And any McDonald's will do. Customers line up behind delicious Hispanic cashiers, happy to be bilingual, happy to mock a mostly white clientele who can only say yes when asked, "Do you want the combo meal?" So happy the hungry become, stuffing their mouths with food disguised as tasty. Big Macs ooze pink sauce. Hot apple pies melt into sugar the same consistency as crystal meth. Consumers drink supersized Cokes, fast to carbonate their stomachs, drown out the taste of non-dairy creamer and bitter coffee, waiting for them back at work near the snack machine, a place to regroup before they dive back into their cubicles. Everyone has their own notion of religion and spirituality and God. This is my contribution to what might be out there. Night of the pulsating world. Sometimes I wonder how God shows his presence. So many ways on this strange planet. Maybe one of 24 birthday balloons, all colors of the rainbow, mixed in a little girl's room. She makes her birthday present plastic horsey fly all around, up and down, while affectionately kicking the balloons. She is happy and kind, flashes a smile at all the little people in the bluish-green balloon, men and women, boys and girls, swimming and eating, working and playing, all so content to be themselves they never notice the beautiful color of the little girl's eyes. Here's a woman who chose a different vocation. It's called Wonder Woman. Television's female answer to Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. She could fly to the scene of any crime in her invisible airplane. Stop criminals and evil thugs with her bracelets that block bullets. Same superhero outfit every day, red, white, and blue, like gas stations, Chevron and Mobil, or beer cans full of Budweiser. If TV networks cancel syndicated reruns of Wonder Woman, Linda Carter can get a job pumping gas, full-time. Go home angry. Drink Budweiser all night. The concept of laughing, the audience laughing at some of my poems made me feel very good. Real good. And it was just a lot of fun. And slow over the years, I learned how to make the poems smaller or make them bigger. And I still don't know where I'm at. I'm still aspiring and always will be to write gems of poetry. But it's a lot of fun for me. I love it. And I'm glad the medium existed or exists because it gave me a good hobby. My favorite hobby right now and for the last few years. Some get published here and there across the U.S., some locally in Ventura and Conejo Valley, here and there. And it's a lot of fun because every morning or afternoon when the mail truck comes to my house, I dart to the mailbox, praying for a poetry magazine to accept my poems. And 19 out of 20 times it's a rejection, but that one time when it's an acceptance, my day is just made. I don't gamble, but it's my form of sort of gambling. You put out 20 and you try and win that one, the one big one. And it's great fun. The first rejection hurt, but after that, it didn't hurt. I got used to it. There's beauty in everything, I suppose, if you do it enough, or if you look at it that way. It's called The Joy of Checks. Not sex, checks. I seldom get mail, but when the envelope from Wells Fargo Bank arrives once each month, I feverishly tear it open to look at last month's used checks. Passed from my hands to cashiers, then to bank managers, and finally to the owners who lovingly send the checks back to me. Memories on check number 563 of a month's supply of Prozac I bought at Save-On's Pharmacy. Check number 558 for over $100 of U-Band coffee purchased at Ralph's Market to supply me for a week. Check number 572 for a green bathrobe I wore at the UCLA Neuropsychiatric Institute where I lived for 6 months. Sometimes my mom and dad call me, but they always sound so sad when I tell them I am still putting my checks into photo albums.
Hope you enjoyed a look and listen to poet Scott Struman, and hope to see you next time on Askew.